Now, just a shameless self-promotion. Someone will pass out these pages. They're called Get Digital. And we're doing a thing called Get Digital, Reinventing Yourself and Your Career for the 21st Century Economy. And it's a seminar. We're going to give a lot of them. There's one coming up on the 29th, and they're not inexpensive, but they're well worth it. It's a full day you spend hands-on learning how basically to do everything we talked about tonight. These flyers are available there. I don't know if I have enough for everybody. You can go to shellypalmer.com/seminars, and you can find out all the dates that are available. And if this is something that interests you, you're welcome to come. They're in New York. We may actually do one out here, if there's enough people who care about it out here. If you don't take this course, what I would ask you to do is I would ask you to do a couple of things. First, I would go to BNet, which is a site that is run by the nice people at CNET. And I just ask you to do a little reading. BNet is a really nice place to just learn about the doing of digital work life in the 21st century. There are all kinds of articles written extremely simply that will help you out a lot. And I would ask you to do that regardless. I think BNet is a pretty nice place. BNET.com, BNet.com. It's part of the CBS media group, and it's owned and operated. It was a CNET property. Last thing I'll leave you with is a favorite quote of mine from my first book, Television Disrupted. In the last chapter of the book, I was doing an awful lot of research, and I found the title of an executive that just made me laugh, and I had to include it in the book. And the executive's title was Vice President of Electricity. And it turns out that at the turn of the last century, not the one that just changed, but the one before that, the middle or very beginning actually of the Industrial Revolution, if you had a plant and you needed to generate electricity, you had to generate it yourself. You just had to do your own electricity. And there was a technician, there was a vice president of electricity who was in charge of getting it generated. And within 20 years, the vice president of electricity was replaced by a plug in the wall and a line item on the income statement that simply said, electric company. So from having a guy and a generator and all this gear and a whole staff to generate electricity, they went to having plugs in the wall and buying utility power from a grid from the municipality. There's a lot of ways to interpret that story, but my favorite way to interpret that story is that this guy was killed. This entire group of people were put out of business by simplicity. Ultimate simplicity. The technology became so simple it was invisible to the consumers, and then there was no way that these people could have a job. George Bernard Shaw once said, every profession is a conspiracy against the laity. As long as you can keep that going, when doctors speak doctor and lawyers speak lawyer and you don't understand, when technologists speak technology and you don't understand, you'll keep paying them to divine and to translate for you. But on the day that you can replace all that pain and angst by just plugging something in the wall and it works, that's what you're going to do. At some point, every job in this room is going to be augmented by a set of computer programs and computer protocols and ways of doing business that are not the way you do them now. I love when people say, well, that's not the way we do it. It's like, that's why I'm in the room. I know it's not the way you do it. It's because the way you do it, it was really nice, when the earth was cooling. But now, it's like a different time. So we should probably talk about the way it's going to get done, or it should get done. It's true you never do anything cheaper by computer. You can do cheaper, faster, and easier by hand, but it is absolutely true that most of the mid-level jobs, most of the organizational jobs, most of the repetitive jobs in our culture can be and will be automated. And if you are not the master of that automation, you will be the victim of it. Thanks so much. I'll take your questions. I advocate not becoming addicted to any of this. They don't call it a crackberry for nothing, and you literally could spend all night online, every night. And if you sit in front of a computer all day for business, sitting in front of the computer all night for business isn't that much fun. Just isn't. So my suggestion to everybody is set goals, very specific goals. and timelines that are very specific, and use the computer as the tool that it is. And some people like it as a recreational tool. Some people sit there and goof around with it, and they get real into it. You can tell, because these are the same people who post a new profile picture every 3 days. These are the same people who put pictures of their dog up 46 times in a row. Any other questions? Sir?
Are blogs passé?
No. Blogs?
Dead?
Okay. Blogs are you. What's this last part?
Are newsletters dead?
Okay. I send out a newsletter to 170,000 people every Sunday, and I do it in a blog as well. And it started with 40 people 3 years ago, and it's grown all by itself to 170,000 people. If newsletters are dead, I am unaware of it. I write a thought leadership piece every week that's between 800 and 1,400 words, and I put it in the newsletter. And then I throw around a little bit of news. Each day I do the topical news with my play-by-play in color, and believe it or not, I make a video that's 2 minutes long every business day. And it's a very, very costly enterprise. Let no one fool you. These are real live videos that are shot in high definition, and they are watched with between 30 and 50,000 people a day, depending on the news cycle. And we have about 105, 108,000 people opening our emails every day. And on the weekends, about 170,000 people get them, and about 80,000 people open them on Sunday, and about another 20,000 open them Monday morning when they get to work. From my perspective, newsletters are not dead. What's important about your newsletter is that it not be, pardon my French, bullshit. If you are putting out stuff that people can get everywhere, if you're syndicating stuff that you've gotten from somebody else, if you buy the prepackaged newsletter about baby care and you're an OBGYN or whatever, if you buy the prepackaged insurance newsletter from your insurance trade association and put that out, it's like, why, your 401k and you, that they can get anywhere online and better, then you're wasting everybody's time, and you are not in the culture, and you are spamming the crap out of people, and they will hate you. If, on the other hand, you read an article about a tax law change, and you go, wow, this really impacts people's retirement accounts. Let me write about 300 to 500 words about why this is important to you, my clients. And say, hey, something really interesting just happened. Here's a link to the Wall Street Journal article. Here's a link to the thing they wrote about it in the Times. This is my take on it. I don't think the guys got it quite right. They're reporters, but I really thought you might be interested in this, and this is what I think. If the people are caring about what you do, then you've created value. And once you create value, everything else is going to take care of itself. Once you send BS to people, that's going to take care of itself too. As soon as you become synonymous with spam, you're a spammer. If you become synonymous with value, you're valuable. By the way, in literature as in life, right? If you did it in hard copy, you'd be considered a spammer. It was called junk mail. I got the calendar from my gas station. I got the classic thing from my accountant. It's tax time. You know, oh, geez, thanks. I needed you to tell me that. I mean, it's anything you send that you would not have wanted to get in the mail, that didn't have value in the mail. Why would it have value online? Online, offline, offline, online. There's no difference except for the speed with which you can do the work. And I'll leave everybody actually with this thought. The Revolutionary War was a fascinating war, American Revolution, because a bunch of guys who were basically drunk, smoking clay pipes in pubs, clandestinely got together and decided to commit treason. They got a bunch of people to get guns together, and they threw the British the hell out of America. I'm always fascinated by that. They didn't write anything down. They didn't sign anything until 1776, because you would have been hung as someone who committed treason. Somehow, their social networking skills in the late 1700s in America were so good that, drunk on mead and a little high from those stupid clay pipes with that weird tobacco in it, they were able to incite an entire country to go to war with England and to have the revolution and to become independent. If that were to happen today, if we decided that we were going to act as a group that way, the only difference is it wouldn't have taken the 5 years it took them to get together. It would take 5 minutes. But you need exactly the same powerful idea, and you need exactly the same communicative skills. The speed would be greater, but you couldn't, the idea couldn't be crappy. You wouldn't be able to do a bad idea fast. You need a good idea. The only thing that's different about today and those guys is the speed with which we can communicate. And never confuse speed for quality. Blaise Pascal once said, "Forgive the length of this letter, for I lack the time to make it shorter." I love that quote. Why would you send anything not of value? Why would you not use your biggest ideas? It's just a communications tool. We are so way over time. I just want to thank you all very much.